Lauren, the importance of each election coming into full focus during this most recent legislative session when Tricia Cotham switched parties, giving Republicans a super majority in the General Assembly, which they utilized to override vetoes and push forward legislation without having the need to reach across the aisle. That was the case with the state's new 12-week abortion ban. Now, new voting maps could further cement Republicans' hold in both chambers and drastically shift power in Congress. Republicans acknowledged drawing lines to maximize their partisan advantage, which they are allowed to do. However, they said they did not utilize racial data while creating districts. The maps, however, are facing legal action. Yesterday, Governor Cooper and Attorney General Josh Stein filed an amicus brief in federal court to a lawsuit against the state's Senate maps, alleging they violate the Voting Rights Act. There's also a separate lawsuit to congressional maps, which analysts say would give Republicans an advantage in 10 or 11 of the state's 14 districts. That is a marked shift from the current 7-7 split. With Republicans holding a very slim majority in the U.S. House, that would have major national ramifications. Today, I asked the governor about voter enthusiasm and if there are any worries that current maps could depress turnout.
The state is an even 50-50 purple state. But we're going to have bad maps and people are going to have to work hard. But remember, there will be a presidential election statewide. There will be a gubernatorial election statewide. All the Council of State statewide. Supreme Court statewide. There's a lot to get people excited about. Women's reproductive freedom's on the line. Education is on the line. And I believe our democracy itself is on the line.
Republicans have expressed confidence that those maps will be upheld in courts, calling the challenge of congressional districts filed last week, quote, a political Hail Mary. Now, North Carolina's electoral votes will be hotly contested. Back in 2020, Donald Trump carrying the state by just over 1%, though that was a slimmer margin than his victory in 2016. Just to emphasize how important North Carolina is on a national level, a Republican has not won the White House without carrying the state since 1956. When Dwight Eisenhower did just that. So, Steve, Lauren, we can anticipate plenty of visits from some of the nation's top political officials coming here to the Tar Heel State, and with that, a ton of political advertising money pouring in. In Raleigh, I'm Michael Perchik, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.